Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we dive into today's topic, as per usual, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. You know the drill. It's really pretty simple. Please be sure to like the video so we can get those numbers up. Share the video with your friends through social media networks such as Twitter and Facebook. And also please subscribe to the channel, and if you subscribe you can also click the little bell icon next to the subscribe button, and that way you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Also, I would humbly ask of you to please consider visiting my Patreon page so you can take a look at the tiers that are available there and see if you'd like to become a patron of the channel. You can have your name listed in the end credits of each video, and you can even go so far as to select an album for me to review on the channel. So please do consider taking a look. There's a link in the show description right below the video. That's the housekeeping out of the way, so let's get on to today's topic. Today we're going to be looking at a band from Canton, China, and they go by the name of Von Citizen. Von Citizen formed in 2013, and they are a quintet. They feature 3 guitarists, a bassist, and a drummer, and they perform instrumental music in a jazz fusion meets prog rock metal gent style of sound. Their contemporaries might be bands such as Animals as Leaders or Intervals, that style of music. But they really do have their own special sound, and one that I find quite worthy of attention. And today we're going to be looking at Von Citizen's second album, their sophomore effort, which was just released a short time ago, called Outlier. The band is made up of Flynn Wu on guitar, Fish Yu on guitar, Nai Li on guitar and synths and keyboards, Shui Mingzhong on bass, and Shikong Du on drums. I apologize to the boys in the band if I got the names pronounced incorrectly. I hope I did justice to your names. Nai Li is the founding member of the band, and he is also the producer, mixer, and master of the music on the album Outlier. The album is a fantastic musical journey. It's one that I have taken more than a dozen times over the last week or so preparing for this video, and I love it. It's one of my favorite albums of the year. So the album starts off with a song entitled Bliss. Bliss begins with soft, subtle synths which are suggestive of electronica or dance music, but that is quickly changed up when the band comes in full force and has an up-tempo, funky riff and rhythm. The multiple guitar solos are laid out over some incredible drumming and bass playing, and the bass has a bit of kind of fuzzed or distorted sound to it. But Bliss never loses that feeling of, as the title implies, bliss. It has this tenor about it which is a strong sense of joy and uplifting good feeling. Track 2, Petrichor, which we're going to be listening to a little bit of in just a moment, gives a little bit of a different sound. It starts off with the quintet jamming in a more fusion-sounding style. It's a heavier piece, a more jamming piece, and here we have a feeling of expectancy. The term petrichor refers to that smell that one gets in the air just prior to rainfall. It's an earthy smell, but it's also an expectant smell. And so I think that it fits the song very well as a title. So let's give a little bit of a listen to Petrichor right now. This snippet shows the band pretty much in full-on jazz fusion meets prog rock metal sound, with the instrumentation just being virtuosic and beautiful throughout. It's got a tight grip on the listener. Track 3, Pitch Black, begins with a strong, almost metal-like guitar riff, but the overall texture of Pitch Black is one of claustrophobia. It's got this sort of feeling to it which it feels like it's closed in. There's this use of djenty-style guitars. It doesn't really sound completely like djent, but it's got a little bit of a djenty sound to it. And the percussive guitar chords really add to the sonic texture of the song, giving it that feeling of claustrophobia. So Pitch Black has a bit of mid-song breakdown, and there's a bit of playfulness with the guys just noodling around on their instruments, and then the drums come in much heavier and the synths play again, and there's this somber sort of feeling leading back to this claustrophobia that closes out the track. Track 4 is a small song coming in only at 2 minutes 17 seconds. It's entitled 6 p.m. and it's probably the most slow or gentle, mellow track on the album. It's a really fine song. It's got a great use of instrumentation throughout. It is an instrumental album. There are no vocals whatsoever. And it is a pleasant listening experience. It's a nice break between the songs because there is this heavier tenor from Petrichor and Pitch Black, so coming into 6 p.m. it's a nice break for the sonic soundscape that we've been given. The 5th track, Flint, comes in full force once more, with bass and drums showing off their talents and crisp guitar work, weaving over multiple levels. And this is something that where having 3 guitarists in the band really shows off just what you can do with that many guitars. And the synths are layered in the background as a nice template for the soundscape to be painted out upon. We're going to give a little bit of a listen to Flint, so let's do that right now. As you can hear, the guitar work shines over the seeming chaos of the rhythm section and the overall band's playing in the song. It's got this cacophony of sound, and yet it has this marvelous conclusion to it. It's a great piece and another showcase of the tremendous talent of these fine men. The sixth track, Light Stream, continues the sort of jazzy fusion meets progressive rock metal sound, and it has that same sort of tenor as Pitch Black and Petrichor from earlier, but it is something that could also easily be heard on an album by such contemporaries of theirs as Animals as Leaders or Intervals, or even in a sense it sounds not too dissimilar to some of the works of Al Di Meola or other jazz musicians. The fusion and guitar work sounds are just beautiful and shine through marvelously. The album closer, Turritopsis, or as the name means, Immortal Jellyfish, is perhaps the most diversified of the tracks on the album. It has a variety of sonic soundscapes that it goes through in its runtime, and it is a fitting song to close out the album. It has tremendous shifts in sonic texture and flow and feeling. It gives wonderful chances for each musician to showcase their abilities, and the bass really shines in this track. The album as a whole is only 35 minutes long, and so it's a very simple and easy listen to just go right back into after you've listened to it. It is worthy of multiple listens. It's a fantastically put together album, and it's an album that I'm going to give 4.5 out of 5 stars to. I mean, from the simple opening of the opening track of Bliss with the electronica synths leading into the ending of Turritopsis with its own gentle close to the album, there's a sense of wholeness to the album that has a wonderful quality to it. It's not easy to find. I was lucky to stumble upon it. Their album is not available, as near as I can tell, through iTunes or Amazon. I'm not sure about Spotify, but I got the album on Bandcamp as well as their first album, and that's where you can find them. So I highly recommend you go to Bandcamp and look for Von Citizen and check out Outlier and maybe even their first album, Sentience, which is another marvelous album. It was a great debut, but I feel that Outlier is a more cohesive and tighter, better representation of what it seems the band is striving for and what they want to go with forward from here on out. Outlier is an album you should tell your friends about. It's a brilliant piece of music. If you like jazz, if you like progressive rock, this album is definitely right up your alley. There's no fat on this album. This album is a slim, trim, wonderful treat for the ears, and I highly recommend it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Please check it out. Von Citizen, Outliers. Again, you can get it through Bandcamp, and you should definitely give it a listen to. So you can go to bandcamp.com. I thank you for your time and attention. Please remember to like the video, share, subscribe, and consider visiting my Patreon page. Until next time, have a great day. Stay well, be safe. Peace.